everybody, I'm Quinn.
And I'm Scott, and it's time for the Almost Friday show for March 21st, 2012.
And off the press this week, we're taking a look at some new trailers for both Prometheus and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Yeah, which I was shocked to learn that a former U.S. president hunted vampires.
I wasn't shocked. I knew all along.
Really?
That's why he was popular.
I see.
Slaying the vampires.
Also led to his demise, I guess. Then we're going to tech, and we're talking about a new technology for hard drives. So they're really up. Now you can buy like a 3 terabyte hard drive.
I know, it's big.
Yeah, we're talking 60 terabytes.
Which is crazy.
With the new technology variants. So, stay tuned for that.
And in science this week, we're taking a look at crazy robo jellyfish.
Yeah, they're hauntingly beautiful.
That's pretty much always jellyfish.
Yeah, except they're robots. So you're like, ooh, I didn't know robots could... robots
hauntingly
are always
beautiful, and then at the exact same time, completely terrifying.
They're very smooth. I think they could really fool a normal jellyfish into believing, but they're hard. I don't know.
I don't know that jellyfish think that way.
I don't know that jellyfish think.
It's true. They just kind of...
Be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we're going behind the lens, and we have the Canon G1X for you. So we're going to review that with the giant sensor in the small package.
And we're also taking a look at some ridiculous accessories for those iPhoneographers out there.
Yeah, if you're into that.
But without further ado, it's time for Off the Press.
Hey guys, it's Off the Press. This week, new doctor, companion.
New companion, not a new doctor.
That'd be cool.
So the BBC announced this week that Jenna Louise Coleman, who
Looks like Selena Gomez.
Yes, who fans of UK soap operas are probably familiar with, is going to be the new companion, starting at Christmas of 2012. Going to be the companion for 2013 and
Is she
forward.
going to be on the special?
Yeah, she could be introduced in the special.
Good spot.
Also, some spoilery news coming from Stephen Moffat in the same kind of press release. Amy and Rory are going to leave in the 5th episode of this coming season, and someone's not going to make it out alive.
Ooh. We'll see
Rory's
what
already
happens.
died like 3 times.
3? That's underestimating it. I don't know. I'm okay with it. I mean, they've been, slowly pushing them out for forever, so we'll just cut the umbilical cord, be done with it.
Well.
New companion, move on.
Yep, with her weird baby Selena Gomez phase. Yeah.
And tracts of land.
And huge tracks of... Okay, you know what? I'm not going to judge this actress until I actually see her either
No,
in the
I'm
trailer
sure
or
she's
in the
just
episode.
lovely. She's
Yeah.
probably just lovely.
The clips that the Nerdist has on their site, she's acting. She is not a horrible actor, from what I can tell from these 2-minute clips. So, awesome. Now moving on to some more awesomeness. Trailer madness! So it was WonderCon this past weekend.
Yep.
And that means new trailers, new cool stuff. We've got a trailer for Prometheus, which you're not too
I
super
haven't
keen about.
seen any of the movies. It's a nice trailer, though.
It looks like a really good trailer. Now, I have seen the Alien movies, but it's been a couple of years, and I was probably like hiding under the covers when I was watching them, so I don't remember that much of them. This trailer makes me want to, dust off the DVDs and watch them again, and then go see this movie. Coming out on June the 8th.
I'll go see it because Michael Fassbender's in it. Yeah. Good enough.
That helps too.
Yeah, absolutely. And after that, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. Now, it's a lot of mixed about this. I think it's going to be awesome. Not necessarily good,
No,
but guaranteed to be awesome.
kind of like the Transporter movies.
Yeah, kind of
Not
like
that
the
good, but
Transporter movies.
totally awesome.
Yep.
And this one is coming out on the 22nd of June. So I got some nice movies to keep you out of the summer heat.
Yep. Vampires and
Vampires.
bald eagles, stovetop hats. It's going to be great.
This would be awesome.
So great.
And just a brief mention, Angry Birds Space came out this today actually.
It's like $1.
It's $1 on iOS. I believe it's also $1 on Android. It's cool. All the reviews are generally positive. It's not available for Windows Phone, so yeah.
I'll play it and get back to you.
And now,
So we're going to have opinions.
yeah, something that's been circulating around the internet for about 3 weeks now.
Last week we talked about the fact that Mass Effect 3 is out and people are playing it.
Yeah,
and
couple
isn't
weeks.
that exciting?
So let's just start off by saying that Mass Effect is the 3rd in the series.
Yep.
And that the reviews are generally positive, averaging around the low to mid 90s.
Yep.
But that's not enough for some gamers.
Apparently, you guys need to have absolutely everything you want, because there was a huge upend. All the tables were flipped over the ending. All of them.
All of them.
And BioWare has responded in kind. They think that their game is fantastic. They really like it. But they're gonna go back and change it, because you guys cried.
I believe the CEO of BioWare, or president, or someone really high up in BioWare, wrote a letter saying that we really like what we did. We support all of our people and all,
We really
That's
like
right.
our creative team.
we like our
Everybody
creative
put their
team.
hearts
we support
into it.
them. This is a final installment of this trilogy. But due to fan demand, we're going to look into it.
We listened to what you're saying. You said some hurtful things. It's creative content,
Yeah, come
guys.
on.
If you liked 98% of the game and the ending's not perfect, too bad.
It's like going, writing angry letters to J.K. Rowling saying, I don't like how Dumbledore died. Please change the ending of the 6th book.
It's not fair.
No.
It's not fair.
So all you entitled little gamers,
Should suck it up.
yeah. suck it
Because
up.
the rest of the game was really good.
The first game was awesome, the second game was awesome, and about 98% of this game was awesome. So I think that's a pretty
that's
good
enough,
score.
guys.
Yeah, you're doing better than most game series. You're, doing better than most movie, books, and other media things.
So be grateful, guys. Seriously. Stop. Fandoms do not rule the world.
No.
Be nice about
If
it.
you don't like it, that's why fan fiction exists. And PC mods.
All right, we're going to talk
Okay,
about
anyway,
something we like now.
Moving on to something cool.
Okay, so nothing I was interested in came out this week in comics, so I'm gonna go back a little bit. We have Locke and Key this week, the second volume, known as Head Games. There's currently 6 out.
All right.
We're on Locke and Key Clockworks. That's the most recent one. It's coming out next week, the trade for it. The whole series is by Joe Hill, and the art is by Gabriel Rodriguez. And it's fantastic. I love it, guys. The art is really good, and the whole idea is really interesting. It's a neat concept. The basic premise is that there are this group of kids, and unfortunately their father has been taken from them in a home invasion, and they have to go find this place where there are keys. And they are magic, and they do neat things. But it's not like mystical, whimsical. It's cool. It's like, if you like Sandman, then this is going to be awesome. But it's not quite as heady as Sandman is, so you could give it to someone who's new to comic books, and they would still really like it.
Now, this series is definitely good for a comic book newbie or someone who likes reading and likes fiction, but not really tried comic books since they were 3 or something. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's more drama and more character-driven than most other comics.
Absolutely. If you want to hook your friends into reading comic books, this would be a fantastic place to start. I know that I bought the first one and then immediately went out and picked up the second trade. Sometime in between now and next week, I'm probably going to buy the rest of them.
Yeah.
It's just that good, guys. And so that's how I feel about that.
Unfortunately, I haven't read it yet, so
You've read the first one,
I have, and I enjoyed it a lot.
so there you go.
Awesome. And now to the new releases.
All right.
We're going to do this a little bit differently this week. We're going to start off with the DVD and Blu-rays. This one has me super excited. Battle Royale, official North American release, because up until then, all the copies that you could find in North America were shared from your best online friends in totally legit ways. You'll also know that it came out this week in front of another story about teens and killing.
Wonder why they did that.
That's actually, I find that really clever marketing. I
The
like it.
Muppets?
Yes,
Yes, the Muppets.
It was the Muppets.
Yeah. They were competing against the Muppets because, the similarities are shocking. So the Muppets also came out this week, as well as Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the North American version.
Which actually looks pretty cool if you look at the actual. I looked at it. If you look at the DVD itself, and
Oh,
when
the
you
DVD
open
is
it,
so cool.
it's cool. It's just a CD with some Sharpie scribbles.
Yeah,
on
it's
it.
like
It's awesome.
it's like a DVD-R. I wonder
Yeah.
if the Blu-ray one says Blu-ray.
I don't know.
Convertible. Probably.
I haven't
haven't seen
purchased it personally yet,
No.
so we'll see. I'll get around to it.
And in video games this week,
Woohoo! Armored Core 5.
building and fighting robots. The old Armored Core games are pretty sweet. Armored Core 5, that looks alright.
Yep.
Your standard robot fighting game.
Same idea, some new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil, Operation Raccoon City.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like all new Resident Evil games, consistently mediocre.
Ninja Gaiden 3.
Also consistently mediocre.
Woohoo!
Woo!
And wrapping it up, the Silent Hill HD collection.
Which collects, I believe, two of the older, awesome
Ones that
Silent
everybody
Hill
likes.
games. Yeah, I believe it's the two most popular ones. I don't remember which ones they are, but a lot of people seem super excited about this.
I know someone who has to play through one of the more recent ones for their job, and they're really unhappy about it.
Yeah, that's the thing with horror games. It's really hard to follow up the series because, you can only do so much and keep it cool.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And,
We're going to end on our strongest note, guys.
guys, guess what?
Hunger Games is coming out. Hunger Games is coming out. Okay, I have read all the books, and I'm really excited about this, and really excited in a legitimate way. Suzanne Collins, who wrote it, was a screenplay writer before she wrote these books, and she worked very closely with the writers in the movie to, she has a good feel for her fan base. She knows the kind of things that it'd be okay to change, but the things you absolutely need to keep in there. And it looks really good, guys, and I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be awesome.
All of the early reviews are very positive. I'm super excited. I haven't read the books. I have the books. I've been literally tripping over them for about a month.
I'm looking
I
for
should
a
get
new
on that.
hero. And Jennifer Lawrence is going to be my new hero.
Yeah, she's cool.
She's going to do it.
She's so cool.
She learned how to shoot a bow and arrow for this movie, guys. She trained with an Olympic athlete to learn how to shoot bows and
Hawkeye,
arrows.
come on now.
Come on. Let's get into this. I'm so excited. We'll probably talk about it again next week.
Oh, we totally will. And that wraps up Wrap the Press this week.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Tech Insight. Starting off with some interesting hard drive news. Apparently, technology is progressing pretty fast.
Yeah, you heard right, hard drive news.
Yeah.
Not solid state. So currently, right now, hard drive is not terribly exciting. If you're talking like disk drives, you can get 3 terabytes, about as big as on a single drive. For
that's like if you go out to a store, that's about the biggest you can get.
in a 3.5 inch, a desktop size, and
Yeah.
about 2 on a 2.5 a laptop size.
Yeah, Western Digital just did their 2 terabyte passport drives.
So that's your maximum size right now due to the limit of the technology. They're altering the way they actually write the data on the disk as opposed to just how much they can fit more data on a given area, essentially.
Okay.
So with this, it's called heat-assisted magnetic recording as opposed to perpendicular magnetic recording, which is the current technology.
Okay.
So essentially, it's very complicated, and I don't understand it at all. But there's there's a laser involved now, and because there's some kind of thing to do with the memory and changing the temperature of the platter and stuff. Anyway, it's immensely complicated.
It seems
physics.
to think, like from little diagrams that I've seen, it almost like they're compressing the strands together using
it's
heat, like it's being
basically
made smaller.
Because the heat has an effect on the platter material that allows you to store more information magnetically in one small thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Is essentially the concept. They're going to be able to push almost 1 terabit onto a square inch of platter.
Interesting.
Which is roughly double what's possible now with the current technology. So short term, like really short term, you're going to see that 3 terabytes be expanded to 6 terabytes on your desktop size drives, and not a lot of change on the smaller drives. Short term. It is more technology inside the thing, so I can see that being a problem on a smaller drive.
Yeah.
Long term, 60 terabytes on a single desktop size drive.
Which is a pretty ridiculous amount of space.
And really, they're only changing the way they're writing the information. So the platters aren't significantly different from how they are now.
Now,
So it's an easy change.
Will this have an effect on read and write times?
I don't think so, because the platters are the same size.
Okay.
Right? So you're going to see similar technology to seek the data.
Okay.
There's just going to be more data in a given... It might actually... I don't think so. We'll have to wait and see. I don't imagine they're going to start releasing giant drives with really, really slow read times.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to be faster, I don't think, necessarily. But I don't think you're going to see a decrease, necessarily.
Now, are we expecting to see a large cost increase for this technology?
Well, as we know, the price of hard drive is ridiculously dependent on a bunch of things.
Yes, true.
So, I mean, hard drives are still inflated right now, and there's still supply chain issues, even though Thailand and that were affected, like, almost a year ago. So who knows what the prices are going to be like. As with most things, it'll come down as the technology matures.
All right. Windows 8 has a release date.
Yeah, so not a specific date, but you're looking October. Sorry, don't get too excited. October of this year for Windows 8 release on tablets and PCs, and that's the ARM and x86.
Now that's approximately 2 years from 7, right?
Roundabout, yeah.
Yeah, because 7 came out in the fall of 2011.
Yeah. So you're gonna
fall of 2010.
Yeah, so I don't think you're gonna necessarily see purchasable versions maybe in the first bit of October.
Okay.
But that's when you're gonna see computers being sold with Windows 8.
Okay.
So I don't know what they're gonna do. I think it might not be that. I don't think there's gonna be that many people wanting to go buy a copy of Windows 8 for their own computer.
Yeah.
But this is when you're gonna see the tablet market hopefully get more interesting, because it'll be right in the middle of the new iPads life cycle.
Yep.
And we see, bam, all of a sudden and a lot of people are prepping hardware. So hopefully that'll make the market more interesting. On desktop side, I wouldn't be too excited about it. Maybe stick with Windows 7
for now.
But I'll probably have a copy up and running just so I can review apps and stuff for you guys.
All right, moving on to some Google news. Apparently they're trying to tell us what exactly spam is.
Yeah, so Google has decided that it would be a good idea to explain why something has been marked as spam. So, if you've ever looked at your spam folder in Google, you probably get like 100 unread spam emails from, Mr. Viagra and the Prince in Sudan or whatever.
And that lady that you met last night that found you.
Yeah, naturally. So Google, and some stuff, like I know I occasionally get stuff still marked as spam that isn't spam. Certain newsletters I sign up with, certain emails that go out en masse. So I get emails from networks we work with for the show that always end up in my spam folder, which is horribly annoying. So you email later, did you get this email? Why haven't you responded? Oh, well, no, I didn't. So now Google has this feature. So it says this is marked as spam. Learn more. So you can click through and it'll say why something has been marked as spam, why Google has segmented it out, as opposed, basically explaining why the algorithm has picked this email to put away. So not incredibly useful, but I think it's really interesting to have that kind of explanation available.
However, I assume if you read enough of them, you could learn to tailor your emails to avoid being marked as spam.
Likely, which could be good or bad, depending on how clever spammers get.
Yes.
I always get spam through. I've been starting to get spam at my university address, which is ridiculous. No, I cannot work a part-time job for $1,800 a week. But it's really cool feature. So if you ever want to check it out, the descriptions are pretty interesting, and they vary depending on who the spam's from and what it contains and things like that. So interesting to check out.
And moving on to our last bit of news, some mobile news this week. Apple, Nokia, and RIM are all looking at nano SIMs and kind of fighting over it.
Yeah. So interesting thing is Apple has been long shouting to change the SIM for whatever reason. They really pushed micro SIMs. The 4 only had a micro SIM. The iPads have had micro SIMs. A lot of other people still don't use micro SIMs. Some people do. It is a standard, but Apple made that push. Now they want to push for nano SIMs. I don't know why they need this extra space in their device.
Yeah, I mean, a micro SIM is already pretty small.
It is, yeah.
I mean, that tray takes up a grand total of like 1.5 centimeters squared.
Yeah, so this is not the integrated SIM like Apple has also been talking about.
Yeah.
Which I think is a stupid idea.
That would be a terrible idea because you'd like to occasionally change phones.
Yeah, or even more realistically, change carriers if I bought the phone outright.
Yeah,
that's going to be really challenging.
If I'm going to travel to the States for a month, I won't be able to put as a pay-as-you-go SIM.
Absolutely. So, this isn't that, though. This is a nano SIM, so just a smaller SIM again, which would have to be vastly different because the micro SIM is still compatible with a full-size SIM, whereas a nano SIM wouldn't be.
Okay.
So you're seeing
even with a little adapter like the one.
Yeah, because if you've noticed on a micro SIM, that's pretty much it. Is left is that tag.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're going any smaller than that, there's not much more plastic to cut away.
I suppose, yes.
So this is okay. Apple wants to push this. Apple wants to push this. Motorola, Nokia, and RIM have said, whoa. Why? So they're unhappy about it because Apple is going to basically design it to work really easily into their hardware designs.
Which we know are super popular.
Yeah, which is great for Apple.
Yes.
But then they're going to patent it so that to the point where if you want to use a nano SIM, you have to pay Apple a license to incorporate a SIM.
So so Apple's playing that we're the most popular mobile technology on the planet card. So if we market this, then you guys all owe us because you're going to have to because all of our customers are going to change to it.
And I think it's a bad situation if something like that gets heavily patented because they're in their dealings. They're saying a nanosim is this big, it has this spec, it goes into this tray.
Yeah.
So you can't just shove a sim in like in a BlackBerry. It's just shoved up there. Yeah. There's no tray or anything like there's an iPhone and a lot of other phones. That would not be allowed on a nanosim patent license. You'd have to have a little tray accessible from the outside. So, a lot of companies have to completely redo and pay Apple just to have a SIM card.
Yeah.
And if carriers move to that, the carriers don't care because.
But the carriers would be pretty upset if all these other companies came up with their own variations of it.
Absolutely.
And now carriers have to carry a RIM nano SIM and a Nokia nano SIM.
Which would be a mess.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think Apple should bugger off on this issue. They won't. I think they should. But, the problem is Nokia, RIM, Motorola are also, they're unhappy about it. But people like Nokia go, well, we've got better ideas for nano SIMs anyway. I'm like, well, no, that's going to end up with you patenting it and then you getting it's the same position.
Yeah.
So I don't like them painting Apple in this bad guy light because they would love to be the bad guy.
Yes.
I think someone, and this is all happening in Europe because Europe has very strict standards on these kind of things. So if it's something like the nano SIM gets accepted by the European Union under Apple's patent, that's a problem. So I'd like to see the European Union step in and say, look, this is the next generation SIM, no license fee.
Yeah, but make everyone have to comply to that so that it's universal, it's no license fee, and it takes that insane rivalry stuff
Even
off
if it's
the table.
developed by Apple, great, but don't make people have to pay to license a technology so they can get their phone on a network.
Yeah.
Just to be able to compete, that just gets a little ridiculous. So hopefully, we'll see what happens. I mean, Nokia is going to the European Union with their idea. I imagine Motorola and RIM have similar things on the go. But hopefully, there'll be some common sense gleaming through.
All right, and that brings us to the end of Tech Insight for this week.
It's kind of alive!
Nah, it's still dead.
Oh.
Hey everyone, welcome to Mad Science this week. Kicking it off, we've got Robo Jelly, a robot jellyfish.
Yeah, so we've been kind of getting into the anthropomorphic isn't the right
robot
word.
animal thing.
Yeah, robot animals. And so this is kind of neat. Basically, they come up with exactly Sam put it, a robot jellyfish. It's a soft robot, which is something that everybody who makes robots has been trying to get to. So U.S. Navy's basically the one that commissioned this. And it's actually really simple and creepy beautiful.
It does the whole...
It undulates.
Yes, does the whole undulating kind of pulsating thing that regular jellyfish do.
Yeah. So it was made by, it was actually researchers from Virginia Tech and the University of Texas at Dallas. And what they did was they used nitinol wire, essentially, so nickel titanium memory wires, basically all you need to do is add heat. But what they did was they coated them in I believe they called it, I think it was a platinum, nano platinum catalyst powder. So what the way that this one works is it basically powers itself just by being in the water.
You use the hydrogen in the water to
Yeah, hydrogen
power
and
it,
oxygen.
theoretically forever.
Yeah, because it doesn't actually have a battery.
No.
It's not running on batteries. This thing just kind of, you put it in the water and it just flexes. Because it's using the memory wire, muscle wire is what it's called. They use it in animatronics and all that, all over industry, specifically special effects, because it's really versatile stuff. It's strong. You can use it for making, muscle.
Yeah, it's flexible and all
insanely so. And when you put it into a shape, it then remembers that shape. Just by heating it up or changing its temperature.
And memory wire.
Exactly. So it's actually really, really neat. And the whole idea is they want to use it for underwater surveillance and search rescue, the usual thing that they're trying to make them for. So the whole idea is...
Search and rescue.
Yeah, it's more search.
Yeah.
These doing rescue, not so much.
Yeah.
But the thing is they want to have like a whole bunch of these things just out there, milling about, and doing whatever
Interesting.
jellyfish do.
Hanging out with jellyfish stinging surfers?
Well, these ones won't sting.
No.
Well, they might make it do that. That'd be kind of neat. They become your most clandestine Hey, I'm patenting that right now. You're not allowed to take that.
No, don't do that.
Why?
I don't think it'd be very effective because you'll be paddling along. Oh, my foot just contacted with something weird. Ew, it's kind of slimy.
Bzzzt.
Ah, clever.
See?
All right.
Clandestine.
All right.
So, so add a shocker or something and it'd be kind of cool. And basically, so I'll wrap it up by just saying what it's based on. It's modeled after the moon jellyfish, which is rather common.
Yeah.
So if you saw so close in
Usually
the video.
when you say jellyfish, you picture the big round one with the little tentacles.
Yeah.
That's kind of the one it's modeled after.
Yeah, just minus the tentacles. But either way, really, really cool little robot.
Very cool.
I like seeing these little squishy robots come about. They're creepy but beautiful. And it's quite graceful, actually, as it's going through the water.
It definitely does mimic a real jellyfish.
Yeah. But moving further along.
Moving on to something slightly scarier, slightly more awesome, very much bigger.
Very much falls into the mad science and sci-fi. We talked about it before. We were talking about the Livermore National Lab, basically the ignition facility. So they've been trying to mimic the inside of stars for a few years now. They do that by taking a very, 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 very small piece of gold, and they hit it with a laser. The most powerful heretofore known lasers.
Big lasers, lots of lasers.
Yeah, big lasers, lots of power. They fired their biggest pulse yet.
Exciting.
2.03 megajoules, which, if you're lucky enough that it doesn't vaporize you, will put a hole through you very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, they're trying to create fusion. What they want to do is they want to hit the small target with this laser, hit it with enough energy that it turns inside out. They basically use it as a really great simulation for supernovae when they go off. It's actually really, really cool. If you can find the videos, unfortunately I didn't have one, but if you can find them, they have really, really great slow motions of what happens. It is fascinating stuff.
Yeah, I think you've probably seen these floating around online before. 'Cause
Absolutely.
These videos do look really cool.
Yeah, they are top notch when it comes into trying to understand how fusion works and how stars work in general. They've done a lot of really neat innovations in this field.
Yeah.
So it's really great to see that they actually got their, the biggest laser
They've
on
got
the
their
planet.
laser on.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, God.
Hey, I gotta keep this entertaining somehow. And now, the MySpace photo has made its way to Mars.
Yeah, oh, God, yeah. So we're all familiar with people who, look in the mirror and go,
It's usually one of these.
or one of those. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's definitely it, eh? Well, the Mars rover Opportunity, which has been up there for 9 years, basically decided to say, hey, still working.
Hey, I've got nothing better to do while winter's rolling in, so I'm gonna snap a couple of pictures of myself.
Yep.
Yep.
So, really, this is more of a mention. Whether, I know NASA probably is the one who said, do this when you've got no time so we can make sure you're still working fine and we can have a look at you.
It's basically just seeing all the dust buildup, which is really cool on the solar panels and the body of the rover itself. In this photo, the rod that's holding up the camera has been photoshopped out. Just so we can get more view of the rover instead of, a big arm taking up half your picture.
Which would actually be kind of funny.
Which would be, yeah.
But, just the same, it's actually neat to see these things still working. There's still the one that's stuck up there in the sand. This one still moving around, shutting down for winter.
Yep, I believe it's sitting on the side of a hill or side of a mountain just so that it can build up its energy reserve so that it's ready to go in the spring.
Yeah, so it's kind of neat to see that we have something still on Mars and we still have eyes going.
Yay.
But
And now,
bringing it back down to Earth.
And now it's just something, quick mention, kind of cool. So Kern's company that makes scales have dispatched a gnome and a scale for science. Basically, what it wants to do is weigh the gnome and basically find out if the gnome weighs more or less in different parts of the world.
Okay.
Because I believe the theory is that it weighs more at the equator than it does at either of the poles.
That should weigh less at the equator.
Or less at the equator, that's what I meant.
Yeah, that's actually really neat. So they just sent out their one of the most powerful scales.
Yeah, they sent out their brand spanking new scale as well as a little gnome because, as the video says, the gnome doesn't change its weight, unlike one of us.
Ah, that's a good idea.
Unlike
Something
us-
that's a constant. Put
Us
it around
fleshy
the planet.
people.
That's actually really cool, and it looks like they had some result.
Yep, they had. I believe they say that at the equator it is 0.6% lighter.
That's pretty neat.
And if you go to their website, there is a way to request the gnome to your location, that you can weigh it and send back your information. Unfortunately, I'm not too sure how to do that because it doesn't pull up on the tablet.
Oh well.
But it is really cool.
That would be something we should actually maybe check into.
Something fun for science.
Yeah. We'll just weigh it right here
Right
on the
here.
show and then be like, hey, look, we got the gnome. If we can get it, that'd be cool. We'll check into that.
We're pretty uneventful here. We're nothing spectacular about the geography around here.
Yeah.
No.
Well, we should at least see how to do it, and maybe we can try and get it.
True. Yeah, there's not really anything in the eastern United States, North America.
Well, I think they need a larger sample size.
I agree.
So we'll have to try for it. We'll let you know. If we have a gnome on the show, you'll know.
Well, no.
Oh, God. That wraps it up on that very bad pun.
Welcome to Behind the Lens this week. We've got actually some gear review, which is good. It's
been a while.
It has been a while.
But it's always that lull just before CES. We
Before
don't have
the
anything.
storm, yeah.
And now we're going to have a bunch of stuff for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, so it should be exciting few weeks for Behind the Lens if you're into gear, which if you're watching, you probably are. But first, tantalize you with this a little bit, Adobe Photoshop news this week, CS6.
Yes, that's right. So CS6 has come out in beta format. So much like Lightroom 4, they're making it available for free for people to download and try out until the program launches. Now, Lightroom was only out for like a month before the program launches.
It was very
But
short,
I don't know. I think CS6 might take a little bit longer. But I know that Lightroom was good to like the end of March, even though it launched at the beginning of March. So that you still got like a month of use out of the trial. So CS6 is available now. I won't go into all the features because, quite frankly, I don't really care.
We'll wait for the real launch.
The
for that,
big
yeah.
thing is it's an entirely redesigned interface.
Yeah.
It's taking a lot of cues from Lightroom and also a lot of cues from Adobe Photoshop Elements in terms of how it's organized, with like a bottom tray for organizing stuff and all this kind of thing. And it's not really windowed or like transparent. It's not a windowed environment. It's all one big window now. Which some people might like or might not like.
So we're going to start hearing all the old-fashioned haters coming out of the woodwork like Final Cut 10.
Well, I mean, this is the first time we've seen a redesign of the app in probably a decade.
Quite a while.
Yeah. So something like 250 new icons and all this kind of stuff. So big new redesign. And also they put a lot more work into their content-aware stuff. So not only is there more advanced content-aware fill, but then there's also content-aware move, where you can grab an item and move it somewhere else, and things kind of build around it.
That's remarkably impressive
It's
technically.
crazy. It's
yes.
crazy. But that's Adobe, and that's what you get when you buy Adobe products. Insane math.
Absolutely.
So you can check that out. You can download it for free right now. I think it's about a gig and a half.
Probably large, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Shouldn't
it's
be
like
surprised about that.
1.7 gigs, I think. So if you got dial-up, which, really, why?
More like if you live in Canada and you have bandwidth caps, just
Yeah.
be aware.
Yeah, just download it and put it on a disc or something in case you have to download it again. Yeah. Moving on to some gear review. The iPhone. People like taking pictures with this, or at least so I've been told.
Especially with the 4S, you know, we both agree the 4S is a really good camera.
Yeah, the 4 and the 4S are both great
Yeah,
cameras.
absolutely.
They are fairly decent point and shoot replacements, but there are certain things lacking, like a decent shutter button. Now, iOS 5 has sort of remedied that by giving you a shutter button on your volume, but your camera's kind of over here, and
It's very weird.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
So Belkin has decided that doesn't really work, and they've invented a couple of products to help bring a little bit more of a normal shooting capability to your iPhone.
Yeah, this is their live action series of products.
Yeah, so they have 3 live action products. We're talking about 2 of them today, and the first one is the live action grip, and we're also going to be talking about the live action mic, and they also have a live action remote, which is a Bluetooth wireless start-stop, which is kind of cool, but we're not talking about it today. So this guy here is the grip, and Scott and I both like this.
Yeah.
What we like about it is, 1, it's pretty well designed, and 2, it works with cases. So it works on a spring system to attach it to the camera, or to the phone, I should say. And because of how they've designed the actual port, they've given it a bit of a lip so that if you are using most traditional case, I mean, if you got a really big, bulky case, you might run into problems.
Yeah, if you got the waterproof case or the drop-proof case, maybe not.
Yeah, but any sort of traditional, like,
That's
thin
a pretty
cases
standard case.
or
the
a bumper
bumpers,
case,
yeah.
it's going to work with those. So what it does is it attaches to the phone here and uses the 30-pin port at the bottom to control it. And then you've got a shutter button and a video button. Now, the one downside to this is, unfortunately, it does not work with every app. You have to download Belkin's live action app. It is free because you're buying this hardware.
I would hope so, yes.
But it's a little bit limited. Unfortunately, that was part of the thing that I didn't like about it, is something like Camera Plus, which you and I both like as a camera app, has a lot of control. You've got continuous shooting, you can separate your focus from your exposure, you can lock your white balance. These are all things that make the iPhone a competent alternative to a traditional camera, and you get none of that with Belkin's app.
Yeah.
You can turn the flash on and off. There's face recognition, and you can choose your focus point, but you can't separate focus and
It's
exposure.
kind of like the camera app out of iOS 4.
Yes, but now you have this handle.
Yeah, so I think that is the biggest problem with this product, because even if it didn't work with another app, but their app had similar feature set to Camera Plus,
Yeah.
or even the camera app built in, it'd be a lot more attractive.
Now, it's not terrible, and if you've never really cared to have more than what the iPhone camera app gives you to take pictures anyways, then
You're not going to be bothered.
you're not going to be bothered, and this is actually really well built. It's super comfortable.
Yeah.
It fits really well in your hand. You got a space for your thumb, a space for your finger here, and they've put this bump intentionally at the length that it is so that it holds nicely in your hand.
And I've got much larger hands, and it's still really easy to use, nice to hold. And the thing I like the most about it, the camera's in a sensible place.
Yeah.
You know, it's not down here when you're holding it, and it just makes sense.
And even though they didn't have to, they put a tripod mount at the bottom too, so you can just take this guy and throw it right on a tripod if you want to.
It's a nice add-on, I think.
Yeah, so you can pick this guy up for $50, $49.99 at any Henry's location. They probably have them in stock, or they can order them for you. So we like this product. You know, it's hard for me to recommend it completely because the app is a little lacking, but the app can change. It can get better.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, and I think if you're not concerned with some of those more, I don't want to say advanced, but some of those other features, you just kind of like to go and run and gun shooting, it might be a good option.
Yeah. Now, the other thing that we're talking about is the live action mic. Now, this guy, again, is designed to work with cases. It fits into your microphone headphone slot, and it just uses a locking thread to basically push and create pressure against the case.
Which is good, because even if you have, like, you know, a thicker case, this case isn't very thick, but if you have a thicker case, it'll allow for that to a certain extent. It's pretty flexible, and the construction, again, like, the grip is really good. It's very solid.
Yeah, so this is a two-stage mic. It's got a button to do a wide capture and a narrow capture, and it runs on one AAA battery. Now, unfortunately, we're not as thrilled with this product.
Yeah, so we did some demoing of the mic, you know, just in the green room before the show. We tried both things, and we compared it to the onboard mic.
Yeah.
Now, what was really disappointing was the very directional setting of this mic.
Yeah, so the sort of shotgun pattern, what it does is it can pick up things from a distance fairly well, but everything sounds very tinny, like a bad cell phone call.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you were using it in a lot of extreme scenarios where you were constantly getting something far away, like you were using your iPhone a lot at events or something, I could see it being better than the alternative, but it's not great.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, this just came to me, but because what it does is the shotgun pattern works remarkably well.
Yeah.
You know, it picks up in a very limited range. It cuts out a lot of side noise. Sean and I were standing about this far apart. He was aiming at Sean, and you could barely hear me.
Yeah.
This would be really good as a lecture hall recorder.
Yes.
Which I just thought of, and it'd be way cheaper and everything else. But the audio's just good enough for you to listen to it. It's very clear, but the quality's terrible.
Yes, it doesn't sound good. It's just clear.
You wouldn't want to publish this on any kind of professional anything.
You would sound like you recorded your conversation with a 1995 cell phone.
Yeah, it really, that's the best way to think of it. It sounds like a phone call.
Now, the wide pattern was a little bit different. It gave about the same quality of audio that the regular built-in mic did, but it minimized some of the background noise.
Yeah, it cut out a good portion of the room noise. I wouldn't necessarily hit background noise because it was a kind of largish pattern still.
Yes.
But it was, you know, you don't get that echoey sound you
And
get
the hum
with
of the room, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's an omnidirectional mic on the iPhone to pick up as much as possible.
Yeah.
So that kind of cuts that out a bit, which is, if you're going to do a lot of sound recording, I think it would be a good add-on for that setting.
Yeah. The problem is that this device is also $50,
Yeah.
and we just don't think it's good enough quality to merit that price. If it was $20, then maybe you
Absolutely.
could consider it.
Yeah.
But it's just not leaps and bounds better than the built-in mic.
I think you get a very similar quality as if you ran a quick filter over the onboard audio in any audio editing program ever, or even most video editing programs. You know, noise reduction filter, and you're getting the same quality.
So we like the grip. If you don't mind the limited camera features, it's a pass on the mic.
Yeah, unless it's a really specific purpose, you need it for something, I think there's probably better options out there.
And again, you can pick up both items at Henry's for $49.99 a piece.
Yeah.
So the second item we're talking about, something a little bit more impressive, is the new Canon G1X.
Now, we did talk about this when it was announced,
Yes.
because we were both kind of pretty excited about it, because it is featuring a much larger sensor than has ever been put into something that's basically a point and shoot.
Yeah, so it's a little bit larger than Micro Four Thirds, but a little bit smaller than APS-C size. So it's a big sensor.
Yeah.
Now, people who have G series cameras right now, a G10, G11, G12, this is just a little bit of a chunkier brother. A lot of it's the same. You've got the tilt swivel screen on the back that comes out and rotates. It's not a touch screen. You've still got the viewfinder, which is small and gets obscured very quickly by the lens, unfortunately. And a lot of your controls are the same. You've got the multi-dial on the top. You've got the hot shoe. You've got a pop-up flash that comes out the front. You can also remove the front of the lens to add on attachments. So it's very familiar territory for anyone who is a G series owner right now and wants better image quality. And that's the first thing I want to talk about. Very good image quality. Very strong low light capability, which is always the downfall of point and shoot cameras. Yeah. And you're looking at a camera that isn't drastically larger than carrying around a G12 to begin with. So in something that's fairly compact, you get very good image quality out of that large sensor. We also really like the build quality on it. It's a metal body. It's heavy, but it's kind of like, yeah, it's worth the $7.99 I paid.
I think it's a reassuring kind of heavy because I mean I've got big hands again, so the controls are very good on this camera, and it's not too big. You know, you're not feeling encumbered like you do on a full-size DSLR or even some of the Canon Rebel series, but the quality is it's not too heavy, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Now, the thing that let us down the most was the lens on this guy. It's an f2.8 to 5.8 lens, so it's not overly bright. But it runs into the problem of the fact that because it's such a large sensor and because of the way the glass is made, it's not very good at focusing quickly and focusing close. When you're not in macro mode, your closest focus distance is 40 centimeters, which is pretty far for a point and shoot. And when you move into macro mode, it drops down to 20 centimeters, which is still pretty far for a macro mode. In comparison, if I were to grab the Panasonic Micro Four Thirds camera and the 20mm lens, which is a 40 millimeter equivalent, that lens, not in a macro mode, has a 20 centimeter focusing distance.
Yeah.
So it can focus a lot closer. So the problem was that this guy has trouble focusing quickly and focusing on things close. So it can be problematic. Especially when you consider that a lot of point and shoots, especially in macro mode, can focus to the point where the lens is touching the item that it's focusing on, a centimeter, 2 centimeters. At worst, you typically see 5 centimeter focusing distance from point and shoot. So it is a very big step back from the focusing capabilities of a point and shoot camera, but it's because it has that big sensor.
That's the thing I kind of want to stress is that it was probably the biggest challenge for Canon trying to select the lens and develop the focus system to accommodate this larger sensor without having a camera that's gargantuan or something like that. So
absolutely.
Although they did make it an appropriate size camera, the lens performance isn't kind of what we expected.
I would have really liked to have seen, instead of a 4x optical zoom, a 3x optical zoom that was maybe an f2 to f4.
Yeah.
Instead of a 2.8 to 5.8. But overall, it does have really good image quality. So if the focusing speed and the focusing distance aren't of a concern to you, very good image quality.
Yeah.
I definitely recommend picking up. It's a little on the pricey side at $7.99, but if you are looking for an all-in-one camera with high image quality, you don't want to consider investing in a mirrorless camera and the various lenses to go with it. It is probably the strongest alternative.
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, you can pick this guy up at Henry's for $7.99 at any of your local stores. And that brings us to the end of Behind the Lens for this week. And that brings us to the end of the show this week. As per usual, if you want to get a hold of us, you can reach us on the Twitters at @almost_Friday.
Or social networking's not your thing, you can send us an email at contact@almostfridayshow.com.
You can look us up on Facebook in that search bar, type in the Almost Friday Show, follow us, get updates when we post new videos.
We've got the fancy timeline thing going on now.
We do. We're all up to date on our Facebook technology.
Yeah.
I don't really know that I'm proud of that.
You know what? My page isn't, so something's got to give.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right, well, that's it for this week.